Karma, the Dark World. Alright, let's kick things off with something unique. This is Karma. It's a cinematic, first-person psychological thriller built in Unreal Engine 5. The game drops you into an alternate 1984 East Germany, where this AI-run corporation called Leviathan, think Big Mother, controls everything through total surveillance, strict social classes, and mind-altering drugs, all promising utopia if you just stay loyal. You play as Daniel McGovern, an agent for the Thought Bureau investigating crimes by literally diving into suspects' minds using brain-scanning tech. What starts as a routine theft case spirals into a massive conspiracy that ties back to Daniel himself, his family, and even the nature of reality. Gameplay-wise, it's like a walking simulator mixed with horror elements, puzzles, and some stealth. But the real star is the story. You explore these characters' minds, piece together clues, solve complex puzzles, and yeah, run like heck from some terrifying creatures. There's basically no combat, your character's powerless, so it's mostly about evasion. The gameplay is minimalist, sure, but the atmosphere and story are incredibly intense. No wonder it's sitting at a crazy 91% positive reviews. Dune Awakening. Next up is the new Dune game, though you can only play it right now if you grab the deluxe edition. Honestly, the launch was rough, really shaky on the technical side. I actually covered all the issues over on GameLike. People lost characters, dealt with bad lag, and the servers just couldn't handle the load at first. They've fixed some things already, and they're aiming to iron out the rest by the full release on June 10th. Technical stuff aside, the game itself is pretty solid. The story takes place in an alternate timeline where Paul Atreides was never born, and Lady Jessica followed Bene Gesserit orders to have a daughter instead. You play as a Bene Gesserit agent tasked with finding missing Freeman and waking a sleeper. The narrative unfolds through cinematic cutscenes, dialogue choices, and missions across the whole game world. Your journey has a few phases. You start just trying to survive the brutal desert, then move up to managing a guild and influencing global politics. There's survival elements, especially dealing with sandstorms, lots of crafting, combat with a wide range of weapons and vehicles, and yeah, multiplayer is a big part of it. The world is split into zones where you'll frequently bump into other players. Overall, it has potential, they just need to nail those technical fixes for launch. Elden Ring Nightreign. Okay, Elden Ring Nightreign, this is one I was personally hyped for. Big fan of From Software's stuff, you know. Armored Core's the only exception, but that's just cause giant robots aren't my jam. Here, they've reimagined Elden Ring into this awesome new format. They've basically turned that world into a roguelike structure mixed with Monster Hunter vibes. And honestly, it works. You pick one of 8 characters, 6 are available right away, the other 2 unlock after beating the first boss. These characters play totally differently. I tried them all, but I'm really digging the spellcaster. I even snagged a skin for her already, and the cool part is, you earn these skins with in-game currency from completing runs, no real money needed. This is a full, finished game, not some live service project. So, the runs, you pick your target boss from a roster, I've got a few down, but there are 8 total. You get 3 in-game days. Day 1, farm souls from mobs and small camps to level up your character and gear, building out your setup. Then you fight a simpler boss. Day 2, hunt tougher bosses scattered across the map, still leveling up. Ideally, hit around level 12 by the end, the max is 15. Finish with another boss. Day 3, you head to this huge arena for the big showdown against the boss you originally chose. Let me tell you, these final fights are tough. Win or lose, you collect relics as rewards to equip and power up your character for the next run. Right now, there's solo mode and trios, but the devs are already working on a duo option. For me, this is a fantastic new way to experience Elden Ring, especially if you've already beaten the original a few times. As we descend. Last one, strategy with roguelike elements, as we descend. This is set in a grim post-apocalyptic world where the last city of humanity, called the City World, is slowly descending towards the planet's core. You lead one of 3 factions, responsible for the city's survival against monstrous threats and internal political schemes. Gameplay blends card battles, roguelike mechanics, and city management. A typical run takes maybe 50 to 80 minutes, and it's super replayable thanks to how much is procedurally generated. The combat is turn-based with a focus on positioning your units across 2 distinct zones. You build decks of cards, and your chosen faction heavily shapes your playstyle. Each run is a journey through 3 biomes towards the core, featuring battles, random events like traders, and impactful choices. When you return to your city, you can talk to NPCs, upgrade your units, and tackle side quests. It seems straightforward at first glance, but there's real depth here. Plus, the visual style is really sharp. F1 2025. Speed fans, this one's for you. F1 2025 is the latest installment where you once again grab the steering wheel and hit the track in the world of Formula 1. It covers the entire Formula 1 2025 season, including all the drivers, teams, and championship circuits. I won't spend too much time on the story mode. It's there, basically. If you're curious, feel free to check it out later. Gameplay-wise, it's all solid as usual. There's a mode where you're the team owner, not the driver. You can hire real 2025 drivers, sign stars from Formula 2 and Formula 3, or even bring in fictional characters. Then there's the career mode where you actually get to race. They've also added a new narrative mode with CGI cinematics where your choices impact your career and relationships with other people. Visually, the whole thing runs on Unreal Engine 5. That's the engine most games are built on these days because it's more convenient, easier to work with, produces better results, and honestly, its optimization isn't nearly as bad as it was when it first launched. Worshippers of Cthulhu. Alright, what about some Cthulhu mythos? Worshippers of Cthulhu puts you in charge of a strategic city builder mixed with cult management, developed by a Polish studio. Your quest? Basically, to become the leader of a Cthulhu cult on a mysterious archipelago. Your ultimate goal is to awaken the sleeping Cthulhu to kickstart this cosmic rebirth of humanity. The lore is steeped in Lovecraftian philosophy. Humanity is insignificant here, and awakening Cthulhu is presented as the only path forward. The story unfolds across 4 chapters, revealing secrets of the myths, rituals, and interactions with entities like Dagon. The atmosphere is super dark, with gothic and surreal landscapes, packed with references to Lovecraft's Call of Cthulhu. Seriously, it feels like every frame has one. Gameplay-wise, it's a hybrid. Think city builder meets management sim meets strategy, with a heavy focus on rituals. You call the shots on your followers' fates. Send them to work, send them to fight, or send them straight to the sacrificial altar. Every follower is essentially a resource. You can transform them into monsters, sacrifice them, or train them for useful tasks. Naturally, you also build up your city, actually, cities, spread across several islands. And if you find unbelievers living there, well, you conquer them, convert them, or yeah, sacrifice them too. It's actually a pretty unique and well-developed strategy game. Car Dealer Simulator. Ever thought about selling cars instead of racing them? That's where Car Dealer Simulator comes in. We're taking a small repair shop and turning it into a full-blown auto empire in the fictional American town of Winston Springs. I play as the nephew of an eccentric dealership owner, Little Sam. He teaches me the ropes of the business while slowly handing over control. My job? Buy used cars, fix them up, and flip them for profit. The graphics are simple, but the characters, mechanics, competitors, clients, are full of personality. The dialogue adds real charm too. Gameplay-wise, it's a straight-up business sim focused on micromanagement. You hunt for beaters at auctions and junkyards, haggle hard to get them cheap, then get them ready for sale. That means repairs, maybe some custom touches, a fresh paint job. Then comes the key part, taking a great photo, writing a slick description, and fixing every last issue to maximize your price. Customers act realistically here, they'll negotiate hard or even walk away if the car's a mess. Stick with it, and you can expand big time, hire mechanics, salespeople, managers, and invest in upgrading your whole operation. It's surprisingly well thought out. Yes, Your Grace 2, Snowfall. This is the legendary, Yes, Your Grace, now in its second chapter. It picks up a year after the war with Athenia from the first game. I'm King Eric, trying to rebuild the war-torn kingdom of Davern with my family, Queen Aurelia, our daughters, and our son. The economy's in shambles, the castle's wrecked, and our people are desperate for help. The story focuses on survival, family bonds, and tough political choices, really emphasizing the emotional weight of every decision, much like the original. My days are filled with petitioners, requests range from the everyday, like recapturing escaped lions, to truly heart-wrenching pleas, like saving sick children. The world feels deeply inspired by Slavic folklore, packed with monsters, magic, and dark humor. Think Game of Thrones meets Papers, please. Managing resources is key, gold, supplies, and manpower are all critical. I can also recruit agents with unique skills. Balancing the needs of the kingdom and my own family is the real challenge. All in all, it's a worthy sequel with a touching story, gorgeous pixel art, and that distinct Slavic atmosphere. Cash Cleaner Simulator. You know how weird, niche simulators have been blowing up lately. Well, Cash Cleaner Simulator is exactly that, a weirdly relaxing sim about literally cleaning dirty money. I play as a low-level specialist working for the criminal underworld, stuck in a secret underground lab with no way out, just supply hatches in the ceiling. My only link to the outside world is a hacked phone where I find jobs on the dark web, talk to clients, and deal with a mysterious kidnapper. The story's minimal but unfolds through dialogue, notes, and hidden lab secrets hinting at why I'm trapped here. Gameplay is first person, I clean, sort, and package cash for clients, with no time limits. Jobs go from simple, like cleaning $5,000 stuffed in a backpack, to brutally tedious, hand-sorting thousands of bills. The cool part? Every single banknote is physically simulated. I can throw money around, shoot it from cash cannons, or even burn it in the fireplace, though I definitely wouldn't recommend that last one. Survival Machine. Okay, so this one's called Survival Machine. It's a co-op survival sandbox, yeah, with some adventure and building elements thrown in. You play as survivors in a world overrun by zombies, traveling around on this giant moving platform. Think like a massive wheeled crawler transporter with a Wild West vibe. Your main goal is to reach this mythical safe haven. To get there, you gotta scavenge for resources all over the place, get your machine running, and fight off the undead. It's built for co-op, by the way. You can team up with up to 3 other players if you've got friends. The big focus here is building on your moving base. You can build pretty much anything, houses, workshops, turrets, traps. You gather resources out in the different biomes you travel through. Your machine moves automatically, but you can stop it whenever you need to collect stuff or make repairs. During the day, the zombies aren't much of a threat, so you can stop safely and gather what you need. But when night rolls around, that's when they start spawning in waves, and that's when things really heat up. Honestly, those are the main features. Nothing super unique, except for the whole mobile base thing. And even that idea we've kinda seen before. But for an indie project, it's pretty decent. Deliver at all costs. Alright, this next one is Deliver at All Costs. It's an action-adventure game with an isometric view and an open world. The story takes place in 1959 across 3 fictional cities in the US. You play as Winston Green, a former engineer for the Atomic Energy Commission who lost his job and is drowning in debt, barely making rent. He gets a job with this delivery company called WeLiver. After hearing a late-night radio ad, the story kicks off. It's split into 3 acts. It starts with these kinda goofy deliveries. Like, you're hauling boxes of fireworks that explode on the way. But then, things take a sharp turn into dark thriller territory, with Winston having hallucinations about this red fox figure from his childhood. The coolest part? Every single delivery mission is totally unique. One minute you're transporting a giant marlin fish you gotta keep feeding along the way, the next you're hauling rotten watermelons disguised as fresh ones. Sometimes you're even delivering bombs that could blow any second. You can walk around the game world, sure, but your main ride is your delivery truck. You can customize it, upgrade it, all that stuff. But you can also totally wreck the thing. Honestly, you can smash up almost everything in this game. It's got a really solid destruction physics system. Not quite Battlefield level, but still pretty darn good. You can even knock down entire city blocks. Basically, it's totally cool to just go wild and cause some serious mayhem, like messing around in GTA back in the day. Blades of Fire. Alright, so Blades of Fire drops you into this grim fantasy world. Legend says an ancient race of blacksmiths, yeah, dudes with hammers, actually created humanity and gave them the knowledge of steel. You play as Arenler, this pretty stylish blacksmith dude who wields a sacred hammer. This thing lets him forge steel weapons right in an interdimensional forge. His main goal? Trek to the royal palace and kill Queen Rhea. Total bitch, apparently. He's got company though, a young scholar named Atso de Zelk tags along, documenting the journey and helping out with puzzles. The story's framed like a dark fairy tale, which is kinda cool. But the real heart of the game, besides the combat, is that forging system. You hunt down forged scrolls, there are over 30 different kinds, and collect materials. You use all that to craft weapons from 7 different families, swords, axes, you know, the whole arsenal. Your material choices actually affect the weapon's stats, weight, length, durability, sharpness, all that good stuff. Then you take whatever you just crafted out into the world and wreck stuff with it. And there's plenty of world to explore. It's semi-open, with interconnected areas like a Metroidvania, alternate paths, and hidden stashes. The overall vibe is pretty solid. Heads up though, you can only find this one on the Epic Games Store. It's not on Steam. Crystal of Atlan. Speaking of the Epic Games Store. Yeah, Crystal of Atlan is there too. Or you can grab it from the official site. So, this is a new MMORPG, right? Kinda rare to see a fresh one these days, but don't get too excited just yet. I'll be straight with you, you might lose interest fast. It's free to play and cross-platform. The action happens in the world of Atlan, where magic and technology kinda blend together into this magic punk style. Think like Genshin Impact meets World of Warcraft. Not gonna bother explaining the story, cause, honestly, who the hell really cares about the story in an MMORPG? The one unique feature it's pushing is combat focused on verticality. Not like those old MMOs where you just flapped wings in the air. Here, you can actually pull off aerial combos. Players can jump, dodge mid-air, and attack while airborne, chaining together up to 12 skills at once. There aren't a ton of base classes, but each one has subclasses, so there's actually a decent amount of room to build your character. Content-wise, it's the standard MMO package, PvP arenas, PvE stuff, dungeons, the usual grind and progression systems. Yeah, it'll probably do the job. The Precinct. Okay, so it's a sandbox game where we basically get into an isometric GTA, like in the first or second game, but this time we're cops. So we do all kinds of police work, from writing parking tickets to high-speed chases and shootouts. The game takes place in 1983 in the fictional city of Averna, completely inspired by 1980s New York with a cool neon noir atmosphere. We play as Nick Cordell Jr., a rookie cop whose father, the former police chief, was killed under mysterious circumstances. Our job? Patrol the streets, fight crime and secretly investigate the murder of our own father. The story unfolds through static 2D character portraits with dialogue filled with all the classic tropes you'd expect from a police drama. In fact, we can also choose how to patrol, on foot, by car, or even by helicopter. Crimes pop up randomly all over the city, from minor incidents to major ones. And here's the kicker, we have to follow procedure. That means suspects have to know their Miranda rights, fill out paperwork correctly, the whole 9 yards. Break protocols, and it hurts our karma and experience points, which is actually a pretty neat mechanic. Amerzone, the Explorer's Legacy. Okay, let's finish with Amerzone. It's a remake of a cult classic adventure game from 1999. I was just a kid back then, but it was made by Benoit Sokol, creator of the Siberia series. This version is obviously newer, though, it's a complete remake. We play as a young journalist who's been given a mission by a dying explorer, Alexander Valembois. In 1932, Valembois and his buddy Antonio Alvarez were exploring a mysterious land called Amerzone. It was there that they discovered the mythical great white birds, huge creatures that never land and feed on insects above the volcano. Wanting to prove their existence, Valembois stole one of their eggs, betraying the trust of the locals. But in France, no one believed his wild stories. Now, 60 years later, after World War II, Amerzone is still completely isolated. A dying explorer, Valembois, begs us to return the last remaining egg to Amerzone, hoping to redeem himself and save the species. So, we set off to this lost land. The gameplay is a classic first-person point-and-click adventure, focusing on exploration, puzzles and story. The key feature is the Hydrofleet, a multifunctional vehicle. This thing flies, swims and even dives, but it needs fuel and floppy disks to work. We need to track them down. Like any point-and-click game, it's intentionally slow, but like any Benoit Sokol game, it has a really strong story. And that's it for today. I hope you found something interesting to watch.